Reawakening. Welcome back to Reawakening, the Subconscious Mind podcast with dream interpreter and spiritual life coach Yvonne Ryba. I'm your host, Chris Mann, and it's presidential season again. We've certainly got an interesting year ahead of us. So Yvonne shares with us today a dream she had in the late 90s in the midst of the then President Bill Clinton's impeachment proceedings. The imagery in this short but potent sleep time vision certainly appears to be predictive of Clinton's outcome in that scandal. So stick around, listen to what she has to say, and then think if you have any dreams in the coming months that may predict the winner of the upcoming race. Will it be another Clinton? Will it be a Trump? Who will it be? Let us know, and we will share your dream in a future podcast. So let's check in again with Yvonne. Hi again, Yvonne.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
I'm terrific. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Busy.
Busy time of year, but have you managed to get us another dream?
Yes, I do. I have one. But it's interesting because this time of the year we've had our local elections. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I'm on the council here, and I was re-elected this time round for the next 2 years. So
fantastic.
It's kind of fitting. I thought, well, let's see, I've got a political dream, a dream about politics from a long time ago. And I've had a friend or two talk about their dreams, and they've had some political overtones in them. So I think it's in people's subconscious.
Yes.
And it's coming to the surface. But sometimes you get lucky and you get a dream that predicts something.
Uh-huh.
And I had a dream like that around the time that our president was Clinton. Mm-hmm. And President Clinton was facing impeachment for his affair with Monica Lewinsky and not telling the truth, and you know the story.
Right. Late 90s, had a couple years left on his term.
Yes.
But everyone thought he might be headed out of office.
Absolutely, and it looked pretty bad. In fact, there was one point when the dress arrived on the scene. Mm-hmm. You know, she had a dress stashed away, and this woman found it and brought it out and all the rest of it.
Linda Tripp.
When that happened, I thought, oh, he's a goner.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. That's the end of that one.
Right.
Anyway, here's the dream.
Great.
So, as I often do in some of my dreams, I'm walking down a country road. I've had a few dreams where I'm walking down a country road. Anyway, this was a country road with big ditches on each side, as we do here in Texas. We have ditches, thank goodness, for when it rains. And the moment my ditch is full of water because we had a heavy rain a few days ago.
We had them in Oklahoma, too.
That's right.
I know that country road well, Yvonne.
That's right. Anyway, so this is a dry day in the dream. I'm walking down the road, and suddenly I look to my left, and I see a horse in the ditch, and it's a dead horse. And no doubt about this horse being dead. It's all dried up, skin and bones, looks mummified. It's been there for ages. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, look at that. That is disgraceful.
Ghastly.
Somebody's horse dies in the ditch. They don't even come and take the body away. They just leave it there. And I'm just getting really upset about it and walking on, thinking about this. Mm-hmm. So then I walk on, and here again, in the ditch, further down the road, is another horse. This horse is not all dried up or anything. It looks pretty fresh, as a matter of fact. And I thought, whoa, that horse has just died. Mm-hmm. You know, it looks like it just died today. It's laying there in the ditch. And they were both dark brown horses. Both looked the same. This one looked like a pretty good horse, as a matter of fact. And I thought, what a shame. This poor thing died. I hope they're not going to leave it here to rot and wither away the way the other one did.
Right.
And at that point, this horse twitched. It blinked its eyes a bit, and it stirred its head and was sort of like coming to. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh my God, this horse isn't dead.
Uh-huh.
There's still life in this horse. It's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And then I woke up. And when I woke up, I knew, and don't tell me how I knew, or ask me, because it just happened.
Yeah.
I knew that the first horse was President Nixon, and the second one was Clinton.
Ah.
And I thought, yeah, well, Nixon was long gone, obviously, and we know the history there. We know what happened.
Right.
And he was dead. I mean, there was no doubt about that one. That one was definitely died. Or his story had ended, let's put it that way.
Hey, when he was impeached, he was impeached. That was a national disgrace.
Yes.
And I think actually Nixon died in 94, but his political career certainly died in the early 70s.
Oh, it was terrible. I mean, it was terrible. And I wasn't in this country at that point, but of course it was on our television, and BBC had it all over the place, and ITV, in England. And it hit everybody. It was like, whoa!
Yeah.
Who could imagine the President of the United States coming down like that? It just was unbelievable.
It was.
Anyway, then I knew that the other one was Clinton, and I thought, well, I had already got him pegged for being a goner. I thought, oh, he is definitely going to go. But then this dream said, no, he isn't. There's still life in this horse. And this horse looked like it was coming round, and it was going to get out of that ditch, and it was going to be working on something. So, interesting.
Absolutely. And curiously, was one horse in the left ditch and one horse in the right, representing the two parties?
No, they were both in the same ditch.
They were in the impeachment ditch.
The ditch, well, I was walking down kind of on the left-hand side, looking down, and they were both in that ditch. So I suppose that's a ditch, where you go when you come a cropper, as it were, and you fall into it. So, but it was just so weird. And then when I woke up and I had this, like, oh, I know what this is. And I thought, wow, that's amazing.
Instantly, you just had an inner knowing that that's what the dream was about.
Yes, I did. I just knew it was about those two. And I thought, that is amazing.
That is. And it ended up being predictive.
That's what I'm saying. And here, we're coming into the run, well, we've been in it for quite a while, the run-up to big election next year.
Oh, yes.
The presidential election and all the other stuff that goes with it. So there will be many people who have dreams that, some of them will have dreams that are foretelling what's going to happen or give us some clues, because it seems like actions are put into motion that lead to a certain conclusion. Like if you drive your car towards the cliff edge and you don't put your foot on the brake, you pretty well know what's going to happen.
Right.
But before it happens, it's going to happen. Okay, it's predictable because you've set yourself on a certain pathway. So that's what happens in our lives too. Certain pathways, unless you make a huge change to get out of it, certain pathways lead you to a conclusion.
Yes.
But people can pick up on this in their minds, as it were, their subconscious, and it comes out in dreams. Just like people were warned, don't go on the Titanic. And a huge amount of people who were supposed to be on that fabulous first trip, the maiden voyage of the Titanic, the unsinkable Titanic, didn't go because they had been that warned them, or great intuitions, or whatever it was, and they didn't go. And that's kind of like what can happen. It's in the air. There's certain things are going to happen. This is put into motion, and unfortunately, people are not going to change. Somebody could change that final effect. But knowing their past history, they're not going to.
Well, there are many who feel that some of the current crop of presidential candidates are like the Titanic,
Yes.
Headed toward, we can see the iceberg a year off. Yeah, so people will start to dream more about politics. With this being in the consciousness, it sort of seeps more into the subconsciousness as well. Yes,
and it's going to be very interesting. And I hope if somebody's listening to this who has a dream that has political overtones to it, or they think it does, please give us your dream, because we'd love to know.
Yes.
And let's do some background and research on this as the next year rolls around and we get really into the primaries coming up in March, I think.
Yes.
And let's see what's going to happen here.
Yes, and you can email me the dream, and I'll share it with Yvonne. Email me at risingactionmedia@gmail.com. And she and I will get together on this, and we'll explore the depths of your dreams, political or non.
That's right. It doesn't have to be political, but like I said, when we're coming up to something, we're coming up to Christmas.
Yeah.
There will be people whose dreams reflect something that's going on at Christmas time for them.
Right.
But elections and things like that are a huge universal thing. It's not just even our country. The whole world is interested in seeing who's going to be, the next president. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I have a feeling that this is going to be a close one next year. The country is just so divided over so many things.
Yeah.
So I would be very interested in hearing if anyone's had what seems to be a predictive dream about this race. So let us know, folks.
Yes.
And if there's something we can do to change it, if it's not who we want.
We know if I thought about it, I could have bet on Clinton. Because I think there were people were taking bets on that, but...
Well, there you go with the horse analogy, too.
That's right, bet on that horse.
There you go. Well, always illuminating to talk to you and either get one of your clients' dreams or one of your dreams from your journal, or you've dissected more than one of my dreams. So we encourage our listeners to write and share, and we'll have it be anonymous if you want it to be.
That's right.
In 2016, we'll keep going with this and see what we can figure out about this ever-changing world of ours.
Yes, let's see if we can. That's going to be interesting.
Well, always a pleasure, Yvonne, and we will chat again very soon.
Thank you very much, Chris. Enjoyed it. Take care, dear.
Reawakening with Chris Mann and Yvonne Ryba is a Rising Action Media production. Copyright 2015 by Chris Mann.